we go in to do the make ready, and I swear to God, there was dozens of dead cats. There was dead cats in kitchen drawers. There was dead cats in sinks. There was dead cats in trash cans. There was dead cats everywhere, bro. What is up? Welcome back to the best podcast in Jinx, Oklahoma. I'm just going to say the best podcast in Jinx. Nobody else is doing a Jinx podcast.
I'd say best real estate podcast in Jinx.
If somebody else is doing a podcast in Jinx, let me know. I want to know who you are.
Yeah, we should find that out. Maybe have them on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like talking shit better. But maybe we'll have them on after we talk a little shit.
All right. So what's going on? What do we got going on?
So much going on, man. So we just closed the St. Louis deal. The Chipotle, Panda, Ulta, American Freight, Michael's, Petco deal. Every tenant. Let's go. They all paid the rent this month. We're doing awesome.
Yeah, started good.
Yay.
Yeah. So much easier when you have like 6 tenants. They're all major, public national corporations. They just ACH the rent.
Sleep better at night.
So much easier. Yeah, so we just closed that. I'm super excited about that deal. We won't pay anything out for Q2 because we just barely closed it in Q2. But that will pay out a full third quarter distribution, just like we planned.
In October.
We're working on the Panda Express and Chipotle
Out
parcel split off.
Yep.
So we've got all of the brokers' opinions of value prepped. They're kind of like hounding down my door. So if you're listening to this, like, just give me a second, man. I need to split the lot and then I'll let you sell it. Okay, I'm not ditching you. But anyway, we're doing that. I'm super excited about it. And then now we are moving on to a piece of land we just bought today at 121st and Sheridan. If you're in Tulsa,
Yeah, if you're in Tulsa, go by 121st and Sheridan.
Northeast corner.
If you have any interest, we're trying to decide what awesome tenants we're going to put on that hard corner. So,
build a suit. Don't you love it when people say build a suite?
no, I do not love it.
Yeah.
No, I don't love it at all. Don't like it.
I love it when it's somebody actually in real estate.
Yeah.
Oh,
the build to suite. I'm like, what did you just say?
it's build a suit, people, because I will build something that suits your needs.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Okay. Anyway, we bought a piece of land at 121st and Sheridan. There's a big pond on it. No pasa nada. Okay. No worries. We're going to remove the pond and then we're going to flip the land.
Yep.
Super excited about that one. First time we've spec'd a piece of land. So maybe the last.
We'll let you know how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Who is, his name is escaping me. Clinton. Yeah, Clinton. We need to ask Clinton about it. He sells land all the time in Tulsa.
Oh, yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Anyway, moving on. We still have more stuff we're doing. So next week, we are closing on a shopping center in Amarillo, Texas. It's called Martindale Shopping Center. Our investor base loved that one. So who knows? We may just exclusively buy pieces of shit in small cities.
Yeah, really.
Hey,
It works.
Cash cow.
Cash flow.
A lot of people cut their teeth on generally crappy looking real estate because it should pay more. That's what we think. That's what we underwrote.
Yeah, obviously, the more competition you have, like let's say it's a really nice asset, new in a great part of town, more people bidding on it drives the price up and the returns down. So theoretically, if it doesn't look great and it's in a little bit older part of town and it's an older center, you should get a premium.
Nobody was looking at this thing. Yeah. But anyway, it's going to be a cash cow. We're super excited about it. And we are closing a week from today, shopping center in Amarillo, Texas. And then after that, before that, man, I got them mixed up. Yeah. Okay, so Monday we are closing on the first Petra Max gas station. I know we've been talking about that for months. So closing Monday.
Finally.
Yeah, it was a package of 14-15. Right now we're just closing on one with more to follow.
Yeah, another 4 probably, but maybe more. Anyway, that is a very interesting deal. If you need depreciation, that's your deal. That's your deal right there because you get a ton of depreciation on a gas station.
Year one.
Yeah.
Year one. Important note there.
Well, we didn't even talk about the fact that I don't think we talked about this last week. It's distribution time.
It is distribution time.
Let's go.
Woo!
I mean, that's reason to celebrate. So,
yes, if you invest with us, you should get ACHs at the end of the quarter. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Super awesome. I love cash flowing deals.
I think that's it. Is that everything?
For intro,
Is that what we have going on?
That's it. I mean, it's like 5 minutes. It's
not bad.
It's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, it is a lot of stuff.
Yeah. We've been busy.
But today, for the topic, we were trying to, we've ran through a lot of topics, and so we are struggling a little bit to think of, new topics that would be interesting. Today we thought, we talk about how much money we make sometimes, we talk about the passive nature of our job, we talk about how fun real estate is, but today we thought we'd talk about
Those are good topics.
all the shit that can go wrong when buying real estate. Just, if you're going to get in this game, these are the things that you're going to have to deal with.
And they are going to happen.
Yeah, and if you don't want to deal with this, then don't get into real estate. But part of having the opportunity to make money and get your time freedom is you have to deal with these types of issues. And so we thought we'd go through some of them.
Yeah, we just jotted them down, no particular order. Braden, one that was the first one out of your mouth, and I'd like to hear why that is losing Earnest money.
Yeah.
Why would you lose Earnest money?
Thankfully, it wasn't my money, is all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
It was my money. And this is one that that doesn't need to happen. You say, well, these are definitely...
I didn't lose Joel's money. Joel lost his own money. He didn't need any help with that, just to clarify.
I did.
Good at that himself.
And so Brian's like, well, if you own real estate, these are going to happen to you. This is one that shouldn't happen to you, okay? So hopefully you can learn from our mistake. But yeah, had non-refundable earnest money. That's that period after your due diligence where you cannot back out of a deal. You have to buy it. And you better make sure that you are gonna be able to buy it if you pass that date. Otherwise, you'll lose your earnest money like I did.
So, but there's refundable earnest money and non-refundable, though, right?
Yeah.
Well,
You went hard.
Yeah, at some point the money will go non-refundable,
Yeah.
and that's the period you got to be really careful about. And so
It's a hell of a story. Can we get into it? It's funny.
it's gonna. We got other things to talk about.
What do you... Fine.
You can't give us a brief.
Yeah,
No, he's ashamed and
I'm
embarrassed.
not ashamed.
That's why I keep pressing it, because you can tell shame is written all over his face. He's embarrassed.
It was
So tell it, everybody.
All right, yeah, and I'm not ashamed. It happened, and
It was
look
a Friday.
and we're better for it. But basically, I got a loan commitment, and
Idiot.
we had raised
What kind of idiot gets a loan commitment?
this guy, idiot. So got the loan commitment, raised the money, went non-refundable, and this is back before we used attorneys for every little thing. And so we had a contract that we thought was good, and one of the major tenants
Had an attorney you thought was good too.
Yeah, we had one of the major tenants, Gander Mountain. An article came out saying that they were going to file bankruptcy. Hadn't filed it yet, just said they were thinking about it, or they might. And the lender pulls the loan. I don't have time to get another loan. I won't be able to get another loan because of the announcement. And the bank could back out because they had a material adverse change clause in their loan commitment, and I did not have one in my purchase and sale agreement.
Yeah.
So I just watched $250,000 vaporize.
Yeah. I've seen you ever since then. I get a lot of emails from you where I'm copied where it says, do we have a material adverse change clause in there?
Well, you only have to lose $250,000 once.
Yeah.
It's painful enough that you don't want to do it again.
Stays with you.
So
I'll never forget sitting in that room listening to you and Vic talk about all of the things you could have bought with $250,000.
Oh, it was so painful.
And you guys never really did it after that one day. You kind of got it all out, and then
Yeah, you move on, man.
Yeah.
Life's too short to wallow in your sorrow.
Yeah.
I'd be embarrassed if I was you personally. But okay, the next thing that we have that is going to happen and has happened to us is fires in multifamily.
Man, those are the worst. Not only because they put people at risk, they torch everybody's belongings, but it also ruins the building, and not just the one unit or two units that the fire hits. The smoke damage ruins everything.
Everything.
And it is such a pain. You feel bad for the people. You've got to move them out, maybe even out of your complex. And then you got to start the hard work of going in there and renovating it and fighting with your insurance company to get it paid for. And we've been doing this long enough that we've had a lot of fires. Yeah. And you'd like to say they don't happen or you can keep them from happening. But when you have hundreds of tenants, even thousands of tenants living in homes, cooking, electric, all this stuff, something eventually is going to happen. Cigarette butts, whatever. Yeah. And
candles.
So
you can do everything you can, sprinkler systems, firewalls, but that doesn't keep them from happening.
Well, yeah, most of our apartments are old enough that they don't have sprinklers. So, that makes it even worse. Yeah. So that's a tough one. It's part of the business, but hopefully if you get in this business, you have very few of those.
Okay. The third thing we put down, if you're in this business, at some point you're going to get sued, right?
Oh my gosh,
because
of course.
Yeah. So what are some of the reasons we've been sued before?
The dumbest shit.
What about the guy that claimed that we damaged his car? Either he hit a pothole, or remember the curb that has the rebar in it? It got jostled and he hit the rebar or something and it pulled a bumper off or something.
Yeah. We buy a deal in November, and December, this guy pops up out of nowhere and says, "Hey, my car got damaged in your parking lot from this hole." And I kind of fought him on it a little bit, but he was being nice and reasonable and showed me an invoice for like $1,000 or something. So I think, we paid the invoice and then, completely forget about it. Fast forward like a year later, literally a year later, he comes back and says, "Hey, you never paid for the second invoice for the damage to my car." I'm like, pound sand, bro. This was a year ago. I gave you $1,200 check.
You didn't get a release, did you?
Yeah, I didn't.
If you give somebody money for any type of a claim, you have to get
guys.
a release that says no, that we pay, huh?
I'm wondering why I'm in business with you idiots.
Yeah. That's a good lesson. Yeah, that's a
Anything
good
on
lesson.
this list that Brian has done wrong? No, we seriously messed up here, man.
Well, so Brian's key is to ride the coattails of successful, hardworking individuals and try to get rich.
Exactly.
So good for you, Brian.
All right. Let's see. What
Well, real
else?
quick, a couple other lawsuits.
Yeah, the lawsuits.
One was the lady stepped out of her shower and slipped and fell because it was wet.
The roof leak.
And so now she was claiming that somehow the roof leaked.
Right.
It wasn't the shower that got it wet. It wasn't that her foot was wet when it stepped on and she slipped. It was the roof leak. Yeah. So she got a settlement.
$5,000 for a slip and fall. Nuts.
We had a guy that wasn't even a tenant drinking out at 3 a.m, steps off of the parking lot. Like there's like a 3-foot drop off and there wasn't a railing.
Yeah.
Breaks his neck, quadriplegic. And his estate or his family sued us, and we had to pay $1 million. Wow. Luckily, insurance helped us with that. But you just never know where the lawsuits are going to come from, but they will come from all directions. One time we upgraded an HVAC boiler chiller unit to a more efficient unit so everybody could get, cooler apartments.
You're such a nice guy.
And ended up the new unit was like taller by 4.5 feet. And so behind us, these people that used to look at our roof line now looked at an HVAC chiller, and they sued us.
And the neighborhood behind you.
Yeah, neighborhood behind the. So sometimes you can't win.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you can.
Sometimes you can, and most of the time we try to win. But okay, what do we got?
How about roof leaks? You ever going to have roof leaks?
I mean, roof leaks are inevitable. It's like concrete. It gets hard and it cracks. It's just the fact of the matter. Roofs are going to leak.
Yeah, especially flat roofs. They can be really good and they can last a long time. But when the water sits on a flat roof, it'll find some opening and then it runs along the rafter under the roof, and you never know where that's going to end up. And so every time we get a heavy rain, somebody's roof, you get the stains on the roof tiles. So that's a big headache that you're just going to have to deal with when you're in this business.
We built the Criterion building a year and a half ago.
Brand new.
I mean, brand new. Still chasing roof leaks.
Yeah.
Still. There's still caulking beams. They're doing a water test tomorrow. It's mind-blowing. Yeah. It's literally mind-blowing. It's so aggravating, dude.
Okay.
All right. What about some sort of bug infestation? Is that more multifamily, or can that be just about anywhere?
I mean,
wherever
mostly multifamily.
Yeah. Maybe a restaurant or something. If you have a restaurant,
dude, there was a nasty rat problem. The restaurant's closed, so I'm going to talk about it now. But there was a restaurant on Cherry Street in this building we bought. Ugh. We go in and do some inspections, and we find this like hole in the wall behind this piece of equipment or something, and we like put a camera in there, and there's like hundreds and hundreds of dead rats.
Oh my God.
Absolutely disgusting. It was so disgusting when we showed the report to the owner. The owner went to that guy and remediated it and like gave him a check. It was and I talked to that guy. He was like, "Yeah, there was always this foul smell we could never put our finger on." And I'm like, It's 500 dead
God.
rats decaying behind your
disgusting.
wall, dude. Anyway, cleaned up.
Yeah, multifamily is really the main culprit, especially apartment complexes that are decades old, because you just have people cycling in and out, bringing whatever bed bugs and roaches they have with their stuff, and then you treat them. But you know how evolution works. You treat, and there's some that are slightly resistant to whatever chemical you're using.
Yeah.
They live, they breed. Now you're over time we're just creating these super bugs. And so it can be really hard to get rid of bed bugs and roaches in older apartment complexes. Really, really tough.
Imagine.
Fleas are almost the worst one for me because you can never quite get away from them. Like
They
if you're in
just
an
jump.
apartment with fleas,
They jump on you.
You're just freaking there, And then you got to set off the bombs, and then you can't be in there while the bombs are going off, so you got to go the next day, and then you kind of have the residual smell of poison in there. It's disgusting, right?
Are you guys wanting to get in real estate yet, or
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And the pest control companies, they come in here, and nothing is cheap. Like, it would blow your mind how much it is to treat an apartment complex for just like cockroaches or ants.
And you have them do it every month, yeah?
Yeah. And a lot of this stuff isn't even poison. It's like bait. So then the tenants are pissed when you come and treat it because then it's just, like all the bugs just come out.
Yeah.
Gross.
Interestingly enough, though, you get beginners that get into this business and they're not aware that you have to do these monthly treatments. And so they're just like, I'm going to save money. I'm not going to treat. And that's how you get the label of slumlord, right? If you don't run a tight apartment complex and you don't take care of the shit, you may get away with it for a little while, and then pretty soon no one's going to want to live there. You're going to end up on the message boards online as a terrible owner. So you can't cut some of these corners. Yeah.
My mom worked in multifamily. She was an apartment manager, and I would always know when she would go and walk inside units, which surprisingly wasn't that often. I'm kind of throwing her under the bus. Anyway, she would come in and she would immediately throw her clothes in the dryer, just like kill any.
Oh, yeah.
Heat that up to 200 degrees or whatever.
Exactly. I mean, that was, gross.
All right. What about both in multifamily and retail, tenants not paying their rent?
Yeah.
That's going to happen, right?
What's with this?
Yeah. Why are they doing that?
That's a big problem that anybody that owns has. I mean, obviously we have some properties where you get national tenants, like we mentioned at the beginning, where the good thing about a national tenant is they'll pay their rent typically.
Yeah, they do what they say they're going to do. It's fine.
Yeah, there may be other issues with having big national tenants, but I'll say with multifamily, you're just going to have a certain percentage that don't pay, and you're going to have to kick them out. Maybe they lost their job, maybe they get behind on their credit cards. I don't know.
Grandma died for the 5th month in a row.
Whatever. Now the nicer the apartment complex, the newer, the less issue you're going to have. Percentage-wise, and then if you get into the lower income, just because they are living more paycheck to paycheck, you're going to run into more of those issues. It's something that you have to budget for, and once you get in this game, you'll begin to understand. Okay, 70s vintage in this area of a town, I'm going to have X percent a month or a year that aren't going to pay. I need to write that into my budget, and I need to write in the cost of eviction and all of that. So it's all part of running the complex. On the retail side, it's a big issue when owning retail, especially with mom and pop tenants. You got just people trying to start businesses, and they have an idea of what it's going to be. Like, I'm going to open, what is it, Bob's Snow Shack or whatever, and I'm going to sell
Bob's Daycare.
Thousands of snow cones, and I'm just going to be so rich. And then they forget that 8 months out of the year it's cold, and and they're not going to sell that many snow cones. And they're like, man, I can't pay my rent. It sucks. I'm like, sorry.
Poor Bob.
No, but I mean, it's inevitable that businesses ebb and flow. And a lot of these small businesses, they don't have a war chest of money. They're going in skinny, and they're hoping that people show up and buy their trinkets or buy their snow cones or their sandwiches.
And their HVAC, they're hoping their HVAC unit does break.
Yeah, they really can't have anything go wrong. So, that's part of what we have to do as a good manager and owner is vetting these tenants. And so I'm not going to let somebody that doesn't have any cash in the bank, I'm not going to let them start their dream business in my center, because I know the second things don't go well, I'm going to have to pay to evict them. If I gave them any TI to fix up the space, I'm not getting that back, and I don't have any assets to go after. So that's important when you're putting tenants in. They got to have, do they own their home? Because you can put a lien on that if they don't pay. Do they have any cash in the bank? What do they have that you can go after that's going to force them to pay in the event things don't go well?
Yeah, that could be like the last thing on the list there is trying to financially go after somebody that owes you money. Sucks. I hate that. It's the worst. I mean, outside of like a tenant just not paying their bill or underpaying you or dealing with small balance, somebody that is just like negligent and fleeing this large balance that they owe you, trying to go after them and with any sort of logic or legality or anything, it's just very uncomfortable and it sucks. Yeah.
Well, I'll just give that a minute or two. We make a business decision when a tenant goes dark and they don't pay. Okay, how much do they owe, right? Or how much is left on the lease? And let's say it's $30,000. Okay, great. I want that $30,000. But if they don't have any assets, how much money do I really want to spend going after them? Suing them, getting the judgment, chasing down the judgment. If you don't have an expectation that you're going to be able to get your hands on any money, then you might not. It may not be a good business decision to spend more money, thousands of dollars, to try to get that $30,000.
And even if you get a judgment, what is like a judgment's another piece of paper.
Yeah, you got to go get it.
Judgment is another problem.
Now, when I'll say our idea is if there's a mom and pop tenant that has tried hard to make their business work and they just can't, they were honest with me, they did everything they could, I'm less likely to go get a judgment against them if they don't have any assets, because why, right? Why hit them while they're down? But if a tenant lies to me, if they just up and bail in the middle of the night, I don't care if they have money or not. Like, I'm going to make them pay for being an idiot.
I'm going to hunt them down.
So even if I just get a judgment against them and put a lien on their house, like, okay, in 10 years, talk to me when you want to sell that house. Like, don't lie. Don't just run off. Try to honor your obligation.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
it's getting long, so let's go down. Let's go to the last one, which is basically one tenant complaining about another tenant, either in multifamily or retail. Noise, their dog's pooping or something. What's your experience with that?
All the time.
Yeah, in retail,
kids don't play nice on the playground. You know what I mean?
The couple of things that have come up more often than you would think is sound. Retail centers, there's just a wall in between these retail tenants. And so if you've got an office, with people trying to do work, and then you've got a dance studio or a gym or
axe throwing.
We've had, these issues, and it can be untenable for the tenant. And they call and they complain and they want to get out of their lease. And so it's not something I really thought I would be doing. Is when I go to put a tenant in, they want to pay me, they're ready to go in, and I'm like, okay, but how's the sound going to work? Yeah. And smell as well. Right now I've got a pet grooming place that went out, but they were in there for years. We cannot get the pet smell out of that unit. We have done ozone units. Wow. We've done, the extra paint. We've done, we're about ready to literally sand the concrete floor, mill it down. What can we do?
Do you remember the dead cat apartment?
No, thankfully.
So there was this one apartment, and I shouldn't have said the name, but anyway, there's this apartment, and we go in to do the make ready, and I swear to God, there was dozens of dead cats. There was dead cats in kitchen drawers. There was dead cats in sinks. There was dead cats in trash cans. There was dead cats everywhere, bro. Same thing. Ripped out the carpet. Kills the entire apartment with that heavy duty primer. You know what I'm talking about? Ozone, whole thing. And it was just, I think we ended up replacing the cabinets, took the cabinets just completely out of the unit because it just smelled like rotting feral flesh.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It was.
Wow.
So now that we've encouraged, we've encouraged everybody on how awesome it is to own real estate. But we do try to keep it real, and this is a great business, but you're going to run into some major issues, and each one of those issues is an opportunity to learn and get better and make sure that it doesn't happen again, or it happens at least infrequently. So hope this was interesting for you guys. Anything else?
I don't know. Nope.
Yeah, all right. Good. I'm off to Tahoe for the weekend, and we'll catch you guys next week on how to invest in commercial real estate.
All right, see ya.
Bye.